Now for a reaction, we are doing two questions which are in-text questions. For a reaction A plus B, product A plus B gives product. Okay. The rate law is given by R is equal to K A to the power half B to the power 2. What is the order of reaction? Very simple question. Okay, so order of reaction is power of A plus power of B. Okay, that is equal to 1. Okay. No, not 1. It is 3 by 2. So simple questions, just by adding the powers you can get the answer. Now the second question is the conversion of molecules X to Y, that means X is a reactant, Y is a product, follows second order kinetics. It is following second order kinetics. So first thing we will do is we will write the rate law. R rate, or we can write dr by dt is equal to K X to the power 2. The meaning of the sentence which is written, the conversion of molecules X to Y follows second order kinetics. If it is following second order kinetics, so in terms of rate law, the rate law is given by the concentration of reactants. Reactants is only one, that is X, and it is following second order kinetics, that means it is raised to power 2. First order kinetics means raised to power 1. If concentration of X is increased to 3 times, so if R dash 3 times if X is increased, so instead of X now if it is 3X, then what will be the effect on rate? So it will be 3x 3 raised to power 2, that is rate will become 9 times. Okay, 3 into 3 you will do. So the effect of increasing the concentration of X by 3 times, that the rate will become 9 times. So these questions are also simple. Second order kinetics is there, so you simply, if it is first order kinetics, suppose this question was for first order kinetics, so if the concentration of X is becoming 3 times, so the rate will also become only 3 times because there is no power on this. These are two simple questions. Now today we will do the integrated rate laws. I told you yesterday that these forms of rate law which we were doing are differential rate laws. Now the same rate laws are converted into integrated forms. Okay, so integrated rate law will be there for zero order, for first order, for second order, and for third order reactions. Most of the reactions are like this only till third order. But in your syllabus you have to do integrated rate law for zero order and for first order reactions only. Okay, so first we start with zero order reaction. Any reaction is there when reactants are converted into product. Okay, so the differential rate law in the differential form is written as dr by dt minus K R raised to power 0. Because this is a zero order reaction, so R is converted into product. So we can write its rate law in the differential form as minus dr by dt is equal to K R raised to power 0. can write it as dr minus sign taken here k, anything raised to power 0 is 1, so k into dt. This can be written like this. Okay, now integrating both the sides. K is already a constant. Okay, so it will become, the integration of dr is r minus k, dt is t plus I, where I is a constant of integration. So now the equation becomes like this. R is equal to minus kt plus I. Equation number 1. Okay. Now in this equation, R is equal to minus kt plus I, which is equation number 1. We will place one condition that at t is equal to 0, at time t is equal to 0 means initially, when it was initial concentration, then it will be R will be equal to R0. Means the concentration, initial concentration of the reactant will be R0 if time is T0. So it will be equal to, putting value in equation 1, k into time is 0 plus I. So I is equal to R0 or R0. So value where I is a constant, and by putting value at time t is equal to 0, R is equal to R0, is I comes to equal to R0. So this is equation number 2. So putting the value of I in equation 1 again. Again we are putting the value of I in equation number 1. We will get R is equal to minus kt plus R0. Or we can rearrange it to write kt is equal to R0 minus R. kt is equal to R0 minus R, or we can write as k is equal to R0 minus R upon T. Okay, so these are the various forms of equation which can be used to calculate T time, K rate constant, R initial concentration, R concentration of left after time T. You have to remember what value you have to put here. R is the concentration left only, not used up. Left after the time T, whatever time T is taken, whatever amount will be left, that will be placed in place of R, and R0 is the initial concentration. Okay, now if this equation which was obtained, if we plot a graph between concentration R and time T, then a graph like this is obtained where the intercept gives the value of R0. Intercept of this line, intercept means the line which is cutting on this axis. The graph where the graph is cutting this line, that is the intercept. So R0 value is given by the intercept of the graph, and the slope of this line gives the value of minus k. slope will give the value of this. So this is the graph which is obtained between R and T to know, and we get the two values R0 and slope minus K of this reaction. So this is for zero order reaction. The formula which will be used will be either this or this for a zero order reaction. So the integrated rate law for zero order reaction is K is equal to R0 minus R upon T. Sometimes question is asked that in a zero order reaction, if a graph is plotted between concentration R and time T, then what intercept of the graph tells us? So intercept of the graph tells us the value of R0, and the slope of the graph tells about the value of minus K. Now half-life. We will continue with the half-life in the same reaction. Now what is actually half-life? Half-life of any reaction is the time when half of the reaction is complete, or you can say half of the reactant is used up. That is known as half-life of a particular reaction. Means the time when half of the initial reactant is used up. So that is known as half-life of a particular type of reaction. For a zero order reaction, if we have to calculate half-life with the formula which we have obtained, then we will take T here and K this side. T half is equal to initial concentration is R0 and T half is the time when the concentration becomes half, and this T has gone here, so K is here. So for calculating T half, what we have to do is that concentration half is used, so what is left is half of it, so R0 by 2, that is equal to okay. So this value now we have to write for reaction. Yes, this is T half is equal to R0 upon 2K. That means for a zero order reaction, the half-life of the reaction is directly proportional to the initial concentration R0 of the reaction. That means how much initial concentration is taken, the half-life of that will depend on that amount of initial concentration taken, and inversely proportional to the value of K. That is okay. But how it is related to initial concentration? It is directly related to initial concentration. More initial concentration, half-life will be more for it. More time will be taken to convert them into products. So this is for a zero order reaction integrated rate law. So this formula you have to remember. This formula, and from this we can reach to this. Now examples of reactions which follow zero order kinetics. So two reactions we have to remember. Sometimes examples are also asked in 1 mark question, that which is a zero order reaction. So two reactions are there. Decomposition of ammonia to give N2 plus H2, 3, and it will be 2. So decomposition in presence of metal, decomposition of NH3 in presence of platinum metal catalyzed reaction is example of a zero order reaction. Though it appears that two molecules, again the same thing. If you want to find the molecularity of this reaction, the molecularity of this reaction is 2, but the order of the reaction is 0. Okay, so rate law K is NH3. Yes.
On order of the reaction decide करते हैं या सिर्फ क्वेश्चन में लिखा हुआ?
It is, yesterday also we talked the same thing, that order of reaction has to be determined experimentally, and because we are not performing experiments, so we need to be told about the order of reactions. So for some reactions we have to remember that these are the common reactions which are frequently coming to us again and again. Their order is 0. So you cannot find out order of reaction by any method. Okay, so you have to remember for certain reactions. For example, decomposition of ammonia, one reaction we are writing, its molecularity is 2, order is 0. Okay, so this we have to remember because you cannot find, it will be given to you. Or if data is given as we have done in the previous, as data is given, what happened, what Murtaza has written? No, see, logic is there. There is logic in this also, that how experimental data varies. According to that, the order of reaction is decided. But for every reaction, experimental data cannot be given to you. That this is, as for example, yesterday we had done one reaction that NO plus O2 reaction was given. So when the concentration of NO was doubled, the reaction was becoming 4 times. So then you come to know that the kinetics order of reaction is raised to power 2. But for every reaction this cannot be given. So there is logic, but for every reaction logic cannot be given. Okay, so this is 0 order reaction. Then second example is 2HI, decomposition of HI again to give H2 plus I2. Again it is, the reaction has molecularity 2 but its order is 0. Rate is K HI raised to power 0. So these two are common examples of your syllabus where you have to remember that the order of these reactions, decomposition of ammonia and decomposition of HI, are examples of 0 order reactions. Now we come to first order reaction. Again, for a first order reaction we write reactants are getting converted into product. So if I write the Reed law of this, then I will write minus dr upon dt is equal to K concentration of reactant raised to power 1, because it is a first order reaction. Rearranging it, dr upon r is equal to minus K dt. We have just rearranged it. Then integrating both sides, integration of dr by r is equal to minus K dt. Okay. Now these are the formulas of integration. Maybe you have studied or you are going to study, I don't know. Maybe you have studied integration in 12th or it is left.
I'm going on.
Okay. So dr by r will give you ln r according to formula is equal to minus K T plus I. This is the basic equation which will come for a first order reaction. Ln R is equal to minus Kt plus I. Okay. Again the same thing which we had done for 0 order reaction we'll do. This is equation number 1. Okay. At T is equal to 0, R, concentration of R is equal to R naught. So putting in this equation number 1, ln R naught is equal to minus K into time T is 0 plus I. So I is equal to ln R naught. Putting the value of I in equation number 1, this equation will get ln R is equal to minus kt plus, in place of I we will write ln R naught. Again, this equation, after this equation we have obtained this equation, and if we plot a graph the same way as we have done for zero order reaction, if a graph is plotted between ln R and time t, then the intercept gives the value of ln R naught and slope of this reaction gives the value of minus k. So this is with this reaction. Okay. Now we have to modify this reaction to certain extent to solve questions based on this. Okay. So kt taken this side, kt is equal to ln R naught minus ln R. Okay, we can write it as kt is equal to ln R naught upon ln R naught upon log m minus n is equal to log m upon n. So ln R naught upon R, we can write it as k is equal to 1 upon t into ln R naught upon R. This ln is converted into the log to the base 10 by multiplying by 2.303. So k is equal to 2.303 upon t. This ln now becomes log R naught upon R. This is the actual formula which is required for calculations for finding out the rate constant for first order reactions. K is equal to 2.303 upon T log R naught upon R, where R is the concentration left after time T. Okay. Now this is final equation which you require. Now this has if this equation is little rearranged, then we have to see what happens. We will rearrange this equation as writing here, this taken here, kt upon 2.303, okay, is equal to log R naught upon R. If a graph is plotted between log R naught upon R and T, then a graph having a line passing through the center is obtained, and the slope of this reaction gives the value of k upon 2.303. So for a first order reaction, if a graph is plotted between log of R naught upon R and T, then a straight line is obtained. So for finding out the kinetics or the order of reaction, whether it is first order or not, what is done is that we find that if we are plotting all the values obtained for this, and on plotting the values, if a straight line is obtained passing through the center, then that reaction is a first order reaction. This happens when experiments which we do in class 12th, that is the finding out the rate constant for a first order reaction. So that is a practical but maybe we are able to do it or not, we'll see. But same, you will plot all values in that particular experiment, and then you will find that it is coming straight line, showing that this reaction is a first order reaction. So between these two, if graph is plotted between ln r and t, it will be like this, giving you value of slope and ln r naught. If it is plotted between log of this, then k by 2.303 is the value given by the slope of this reaction, of this graph. Okay, so these are formulas, two formulas which are there for it. So one this reaction and second reaction, this one we have to remember. Okay. Now half-life of this. Okay, after completing example, first let us do the example of reactions generally having first order kinetics. So the first example which you have to remember, that all radioactive disintegration reactions, all radioactive disintegration reactions are example. Radioactive decay of any particular molecule or atom takes place, then that is always a first order reaction. And one more is there, that just let me confirm it. One more type of reactions which come for first order. Hydrogenation of ethene. Okay, so two examples. Hydrogenation of ethene, that is C2H4 plus H2 in presence of nickel, palladium, platinum to form C2H6. This is example of a first order reaction and all radioactive disintegration reactions or radioactive decay reactions. So sometimes in questions it is given that a radioactive decay takes place according to the following reaction, and then after time t the concentration left is this. So that means which formula we have to use, because it is written radioactive disintegration. So the formula which will be used by us will be this for finding the rate constant. So these things are sometimes not specified, the reaction is first order or zero order, but by the conditions, like if it is radioactive decay, you will automatically come to know that we are talking about first order reaction. So you have to remember about this. Okay, now half-life of this reaction. Half-life of first order reaction. In the same formula, if we will see, then K is, we will rearrange T, we will take this side, K we will bring here. T half is equal to 2.303 upon K log of R naught, and concentration left in half-life will be R naught by 2. Okay, because it is for half-life, so it will be half concentration left. Okay, then we will write T half is equal to 2.303 upon K log of 2. T half is equal to 2.303 log 2 is actually equal to 0.3010. This is the value of log 2 taken from log table. So it is 0.3010 upon K comes to be 0.693. This and this K T half. This is the formula for half-life of a first order reaction, 0.693 upon K. That means for a first order reaction, the half-life period of the reaction is independent of the initial concentration. In the formula of zero order reaction, it was coming R naught, concentration of R naught upon 2K. The formula for half-life for zero order was that. That means half-life of a zero order reaction depends on initial concentration, how much it is taken. But half-life of a first order reaction does not depend on initial concentration. It is just inversely proportional to the rate constant. So this formula will be used to find out the half-life of a first order reaction. Okay, so these are two important formulas derived by the integrated rate laws. Half-life formulas are also important, and these formulas which were obtained are also important for solving numericals. From this chapter, the weightage till now was 5 marks, but this year it will be increased because the number of chapters are reduced. So weightage will be more. So let us consider that it will be for 7 marks. So from this chapter, one numerical is fixed every year. One numerical will come. And question from order of reaction, from that molecularity of reaction are always there. Okay, so prepare in that manner. Also, one question was always there from Arrhenius equation. So this time this is deleted, so that in place of that some theoretical portion will be included more, because numerical at the most can be asked is only one from the chapter. So one numerical on this, either on half-life or on this order of reaction formula, and remaining will be small, maybe some small numerical like finding out the order of reaction by doing the total and all. So that way you prepare. Derivation of these have never been asked. But why we do derivations? Because in steps of derivation, some points, sometimes formulas come which can be asked directly. So you should know that from where we have reached to those formulas, so that if any multiple choice question covers the steps of these, you can know. Okay, now for gaseous reactants and products, this formula changes. That we will do in the next class. Now today, a very small topic let us take, so that it is over today itself. That is about pseudo first order reactions. A small topic is there, pseudo first order reactions. Okay, now why they are called pseudo word is known to you, that is false. So if something is false, that is known as pseudo first order reaction. So actually the reaction is not first order, but it is appearing to be first order. That is why the name is given pseudo first order reaction. So that one reaction we had discussed yesterday, that is the hydrolysis of esters, CH3 COO C2H5 plus H2O gives CH3 COOH plus C2H5 OH. This reaction I had written yesterday also, and I told that the rate law for this reaction is rate is equal to K CH3 COO C2H5 raised to power 1 and H2O raised to power 0. That means the reaction or the rate of reaction is not affected by the change in concentration of water in this reaction. So actually the reaction is, the rate of the reaction is related to only the concentration of ester present here. So that means the order of reaction is first order, because this is raised to power 1 and that was raised to power 0. So this reaction is a first order reaction. So why this reaction is called pseudo first order, not real first order reaction? Because actually it is not so that H2O is not taking part in the reaction or its concentration is not getting affected, it's not affecting the rate of reaction. But whenever the reactant is present in large excess, suppose when this reaction takes place, 0.1 mole of ester is taken with 10 moles of water, because always when water is used as a medium of reaction, and it is a reactant also, medium of reaction as well as reactant also, means in most of the reactions always use water as a medium, but in this reaction it is medium as well as reactant, because this is reacting with it. So when it is acting as a reactant, in those cases when it's, because water is always present in large excess, so practically when it is used in the reaction, its concentration does not get affected, because for 0.1 mole 10 moles are available in the reaction mixture. So if 0.1 mole is used up, then also practically its concentration seems to be unaffected. That is why the esterification, this hydrolysis of ester reaction, where water is present in large excess, such reactions, this concentration seems to be practically unaffected, but actually it is getting used up to little extent. Hence these reactions are known as pseudo first order reaction, whenever the second reactant will be present in large excess as compared to the first one, then we will write its concentration to be practically unaffected by the rate of reaction. So such reactions are called pseudo first order reaction, because it is first order, so pseudo first order. Maybe that suppose it is raised to power 2, so this reaction has been called as pseudo second order reaction. So pseudo means actually it should also be given some power, but it is not given because it is in large excess. So those reactions, so one example is hydrolysis of ester, one example is C12H22O11 plus water, hydrolysis of sugar. So generally hydrolysis reactions are example of pseudo first order reactions. In this also it is getting used up and it is in large excess. Okay.